My name is Sammy Woodhouse and I'm one of the Rotherham child abuse survivors and campaigners.
Sammy Woodhouse was only 15 when she became pregnant after being raped. She was the victim of a grooming gang in the UK, and she's had difficult conversations with her son about how he was born. Woodhouse, who is now an activist against child abuse, is one of the thousands of children and youngsters in the UK who've been sexually abused by what's known as grooming gangs. In this episode of Dark World, let me tell you about the sexual grooming menace in the UK and those behind it. Grooming involves perpetrators first winning the trust of their victims by building a relationship with their victims and their families and friends to make them seem trustworthy or authoritative. Once they establish a rapport, they lure their victims into engaging in sexual acts and criminal activities, after which they are blackmailed and a vicious cycle of abuse follows. Children, mostly girls as young as 11, have been victims of sexual abuse by grooming gangs. They are raped, trafficked, abducted and beaten up. One particular case that shocked the entire world was the Rotherham Scandal. It started in the late 1980s and went on till the 2010s. It was proof of the failure of authorities and law enforcement agencies in acting against abuse. The prime accused in this scandal is the Hussain brothers, who are British men of Pakistani origin. The victims were forced to perform sexual acts, often on several men at a time, and were forced to store weapons and drugs for the gang. Sammy Woodhouse was a victim of the Rotherham Scandal. She became pregnant after being raped by Harshit Hussain. Harshit Hussain, aka Mad Ash, was the ringleader of the Rotherham gang. In 2016, Harshit was jailed for 35 years, while his brothers Basharat and Banaras were jailed for 25 and 19 years respectively. Of the 54 abused children linked to the Hussain brothers, 18 called Harshit their boyfriend. Men of Pakistani origin have been behind many of the sexual grooming cases in the UK. A 2017 report found that 84% of child sexual exploitation offenders who operate in gangs are Asians, mostly Pakistanis. Grooming is still on the rise in the UK, and dozens of victims who've been through this ordeal still await justice. This year, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak unveiled plans to create a task force to crack down on grooming gangs. But is this enough to stamp out the evil of sexual grooming in the UK? And will the government act despite political pressure? What are your views on this? Let me know in the comments.